What if you could understand the hidden forces that shape every interaction, every decision, every conflict, and every connection in your life? What if you could see the invisible currents of human nature that dictate why people do what they do, including yourself? This is the promise of Robert Greene's monumental work, The Laws of Human Nature. This is not just a book. It is a guide to the most complex and fascinating subject you will ever encounter, the human character. Over the next 20 minutes, we will journey into the depths of what truly drives us, uncovering truths that can transform you from a passive observer of life into an active, understanding participant. We like to believe we are rational creatures, that our decisions are based on logic and conscious thought. This is perhaps the greatest illusion of all. The reality is that we are primarily emotional creatures, driven by forces buried deep within our psyche, forces we are often unaware of. We are governed by a shadow self, a darker side of our personality that we repress and hide from the world, and even from ourselves. This shadow contains our envy, our selfishness, our aggression, our insecurities, but it does not disappear. It leaks out in our sarcasm, our irrational dislikes, our sudden moods, our compulsive behaviors. Until you acknowledge and integrate this shadow, it will control you from the darkness. The first and most profound law is to know and accept your own dark side. Only then can you begin to understand the darkness in others. Let us explore one of the most powerful and destructive of these hidden forces, the law of irrationality. We are flooded with emotions that constantly cloud our judgment. Think of the last terrible decision you made. Chances are it was fueled by a current of anxiety, envy, or anger you did not fully recognize at the time. We are all susceptible to what Greene calls the inner Athena, the rise of irrational emotional currents that hijack our brain. The key is not to suppress emotion, which is impossible, but to become a master of your own. This begins with self-awareness. You must learn to recognize the physical signs of rising emotion, the clenched jaw of anger, the tight chest of anxiety. You must label the emotion precisely. Is it truly anger, or is it hurt pride? Is it anxiety, or is it excitement? By observing and labeling, you create a space between the feeling and your reaction. You regain control. Now let us turn our gaze outward. To navigate the social world effectively, you must become a skilled reader of people. This is the law of narcissism. We all exist on a spectrum of narcissism, from healthy to destructive. Most of us are trapped in our own reality, seeing the world through the distorted lens of our own needs and biases. Destructive narcissists, however, are black holes of emotional energy. They lack empathy, they crave attention, and they will drain you. You must learn to identify them by their telltale signs. A grandiose sense of self, a constant need for admiration, a tendency to manipulate. The antidote to their poison and to your own self-absorption is to practice empathy. True empathy is not about being nice. It is a strategic skill. It is the ability to step outside your own perspective and see the world through the eyes of another person, to understand their insecurities, their desires, their past wounds. When you understand what people truly need, you can connect with them on a much deeper level. Our character is not set in stone. It is shaped by a powerful force, the law of compulsive behavior. We are all living out patterns established in our childhood. We are drawn to the same types of toxic partners. We repeat the same self-sabotaging behaviors at work. We get trapped in the same cycles of conflict. These are compulsions, and they stem from deep-seated needs we are trying to fulfill, often related to our parents. To break free, you must first uncover your core pattern. Look at the recurring problems in your life. Look at the types of people who consistently cause you drama or pain. This is your pattern. The next time you feel the pull of this compulsion, you must stop and resist the familiar reaction. Choose a different response, however uncomfortable it feels. In that gap, you will find your freedom. Beyond our individual patterns, we are all susceptible to the law of conformity. We are social creatures with a deep biological need to fit in. This makes us incredibly vulnerable to group pressure. We adopt the opinions of our tribe. We follow trends. We silence our own doubts to maintain harmony. This herd mentality can lead us to act against our own best interests, to participate in cruelty, or to stifle our own creativity. To resist this, you must develop a strong sense of purpose. Know who you are and what you stand for, independent of the group. Practice non-conformity in small ways to build the muscle for when it really matters. Value your individuality above the comfort of fitting in. Finally, we come to the law of death denial. This is the ultimate law, the one that underpins so much of human behavior. We are the only animals aware of our own mortality, and we spend our lives running from this terrifying knowledge. This repressed fear of death fuels our desire for legacy, our hunger for fame, our obsession with accumulating wealth and power, all in a desperate attempt to feel significant and outlive our physical selves. When you understand this, you can see the grandiosity and aggression of others as a frantic flight from the inevitable. Embracing the awareness of your own death, however, is the key to a life of intensity and meaning. It makes you prioritize what is truly important. It gives you a sense of urgency. It allows you to let go of petty concerns and focus on your unique contribution, on living a life that is fully your own. The laws of human nature is a call to a grander project, the project of self-mastery and human understanding. It is about moving through the world with your eyes wide open, freed from the illusions that you are purely rational and in complete control. It is about developing a profound understanding of the irrational, emotional, and patterned creatures we all are. By studying these laws, you are not learning to manipulate others. You are learning to understand them. And in doing so, you are learning to understand and finally master yourself. This journey into human nature is the most important journey you will ever take.